Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. This story explains a lot behind other stories that we've covered this year. We always cover stories about prostitution, cannabis cultivation, and also immigration stories as well. Some people may remember the Essex story where the bodies of Chinese immigrants were found in the back of a lorry. And I'll talk more about why this is connected to this story in a minute. On the 2nd of September, a woman was arrested for money laundering for a man who ran a network of over 400 properties that were used by organised crime groups involved in prostitution, cannabis cultivation, and also other businesses. The 43-year-old woman was arrested by the National Crime Agency at her home address in Bull Road in Ipswich. She has since been released under investigation by the police. She is alleged to have laundered money for a Birmingham-based Chinese national called Feng Xu, who operated a network of rental properties across the UK used by criminal groups for brothels, cannabis farms and housing illegal immigrants. Feng was jailed for more than 7 years last year, and he faces deportation at the end of his sentence as well. And the police found out through their investigations that he had massive amounts of money going into his bank accounts, and they believe this all came from criminal networks. And he was arrested in Birmingham on Holliday Street. He used to own or rent, from what it looks like, a series of apartments that are very expensive in the city centre.
Good morning, sir. Okay, I need you to listen to me very carefully, okay? My name is Paul Brown. I'm from the National Crime Agency. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in modern slavery for the purposes of sexual exploitation.
Slavery?
Contrary to the Modern Slavery Act 2015, okay? Do you understand? You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
And of course, the NCA would have been focusing a lot of time and energy on immigration. One, mainly due to Brexit, with us leaving the EU, so things are going to get difficult anyway. But secondly, following the 39 immigrants that were found in the back of the lorry in Essex, the discovery of the frozen bodies of 39 immigrants in an industrial park on the Thames Estuary back in October, this shone a light on a rise in the number of trafficked human beings into the country, especially from China and Vietnam. The police have been aware of Vietnamese gangs featuring in modern slavery, and this means basically people working for very little money in very bad conditions. The National Crime Agency started extra investigations in 2018 when they found more Albanian nationals and a rise of 702 cases. The Chinese victims soared in the same time by 50%, with 451 Chinese people passed on to the National Crime Agency in 2018, including 17 of them being children. And they believe that the thousands are hidden in illicit cannabis farms, nail bars and brothels across the country. At least 25 of the 8 women and 31 men in the back of the lorries in Essex entered the UK through a small cargo port in Purfleet in Essex, because initially they were believed to all be Chinese, but it was a mix of Chinese and Vietnamese. They arrested and charged Mo Robinson, who was the lorry driver, and he came from Northern Ireland in County Armagh. They said that he was part of a global gang that smuggled human beings. He was remanded in custody and appeared at the Old Bailey in November. Several other arrests were made as well in relation to that, and people are in court at the moment. Essex police declined to comment on documents found on some of the bodies with fake Chinese passports. The police initially identified the victims as all Chinese and raised questions on the involvement of triad gangs and also snakehead gangs, which are different Chinese gangs. So there is a lot of dispute over the different nationalities of the people that was involved. And as I covered recently with the £3 million cannabis factory in Birmingham, where on the outskirts in West Brom, where I managed to get access to record some footage from that scene as well. It shows the massive scale that cannabis factories are on now, where people are using it to make a lot of money, but it also carries a lot of risks as well, and people have to live in these factories in very bad conditions. They're often sleeping on the floor without proper facilities. And that is why I think they focus so much time and effort on these cases.
Look at that, another room, look, another room, more ballasts, more wiring, another room, another room, another room.
Feng Xu was actually arrested last year. This woman was only arrested the other day. They described him in the press as a mastermind behind a prostitute and drugs racket in the Birmingham area. He was jailed for 6 years. He pled guilty to 22 charges of fraud, false ID, money laundering, and he was arrested by the National Crime Agency on May the 14th, 2019, as part of the investigation into modern slavery and human trafficking. They believe he was responsible for operating hundreds of networks used by gangs for cannabis farms. The crook had multiple fake identities and he had hundreds of properties on his books. They found 31 different false or fraudulent Chinese or Portuguese documents also recovered from the address as well. And one computer database he had as well at the 446 properties that he was involved in renting. A lot of them were brothels as well, used by women that would be exploited and turned into cannabis farms at a later date. The National Crime Agency said he was a very prolific offender and an important enabler for different criminal gangs in the country and the city. So this shows the variety of different people and cultures that are involved in crime across the UK. The media will often focus on local crime, or in London it will sometimes be black gangs that are involved in it. Up north it may be white gangs more, but everywhere has got every single race is involved in every single type of crime. So I really want to hear what people have to say on this story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Follow us online as well at Scarcity Studios, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.